Hi, fourth graders. It's Mrs. Har. I'm going to teach you how to play a game called Spin and Round. So what you'll need is you'll need a whiteboard marker, and eraser, and your partner will need one as well. If your partner doesn't have a whiteboard, a sheet of notebook paper is sufficient. Then if you wanted to print out a spinner, you can in the attachments. If you do use a spinner, you will need a paper clip and a pencil with a sharp point to it. What you're going to do is if you do not have a spinner or you do not want to print out the spinner, you're just going to take a sheet of notebook paper or printer paper, and I just cut it into thirds, and I wrote the name of each place value that we're going to round to. So today we're going to round to thousands, and I just fold that up to the 10,000s, and for the 100,000s. And again, you will only need that pile if you choose not to print out the spinner. So you and your partner will each draw enough blanks so that you have a place for ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. And then find that deck of cards that was sent home. Please make sure you take out anything that is a face card or a 10. So you just want single digits in your deck of cards that you're going to play with. That will just go in between the two of you. And what you will do is you will each take a turn choosing a card from the top. As soon as you choose a card from the top, it goes in the largest place value, which is, for today's game, the 100,000. So my first number is 2. I'm going to go ahead and write a 2. My partner draws a card, puts it in the 100,000s place. Next one, 8. I write that in the 10,000s place. My partner draws a card, writes it in the 10,000s place. A 7. I write that in the thousands place. My partner takes a card, writes it in the thousands. I get a 9. Write it in the hundreds place. My partner draws a card, writes it in his or her hundreds place. 8. Put that in the tens place. And lastly, we each choose a card to go in the ones place. Practice reading your number aloud. 287,984. You can set your cards aside. And then if you chose the spinner board to print out, you just use the tip of the pen or pencil and use it to stabilize that paper clip. So if I'm using that, my paper clip landed on thousands. Both my partner and I round our number to the nearest thousands. And if you remember from yesterday's lesson, you circle the number in the thousands place, draw an arrow to the neighbor, which is to the right next door, and you say 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. So the neighbor to the right is 5 or more, a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So this rounds up, it raises, okay, goes to an 8. So we keep everything before it the same. 5 or more, raise the score. 1 more is 8. And everything after the place value that I rounded to, the thousands, turns to a 0. So rounded to the nearest thousand is 288,000. My partner would do the same and we would compare it. Whoever has the larger of the two numbers can go ahead and give themselves 1 tally mark or 1 point. Then you erase it. That's round 1. Round 2, you're going to do the same thing. In this case, I'm going to pretend that I didn't print out the spinner board, and I have my 3 place values here. So without looking, I'm going to draw one, open it up. My partner and I need to round to the nearest 100,000. So we get our cards back out and do the same thing. First number goes in the 100,000. My partner chooses a card different from mine. I have a 3, goes in the 10,000s. My partner chooses a card, it goes in their 10,000s. An 8 in the thousands. Partner chooses one. 9 in the hundreds. Partner chooses one. Now it's my turn. Ace is the same thing as a 1 when we're using a deck of cards, and a 1. We had picked hundred thousands, so my partner and I are going to round to the nearest hundred thousands. Circle the number in the hundred thousands. Look, 1 to the right. 5 or more, a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1, a 0. 4 or less, let it rest. So it's 4 or less, so I let this rest and keep it a 9. Everything after the place value that I rounded to the hundred thousands turns to 0. Go ahead and compare it with your partner. The person who has the larger number gives himself a tally mark. I'll show you one more time. And then I'll let you play. Again, a 6-digit number. Go ahead and create those place values. Just set those cards that you used off to the side. You each choose your own card in the hundred thousands. I have a 4 in the 10,000s. My partner chooses a 1 in the thousands, a 2 in the hundreds, an 8 in the tens, and a 5 in the ones place. So I'm going to read my number, 741,285. Now I'm going to imagine that I do not have a spinner, and so I'm not going to look, and I'm going to choose this one, or my partner chooses. We're going to round to the thousands place. So we each are going to circle the number in the thousands place, draw an arrow to the right, and ask our neighbor, hey, 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. It's 4 or less, let this rest and stay a 1. Don't change the numbers before, just the numbers to 0 after the place value that we rounded to. So this number rounded to the nearest thousands is 741,000. We can compare whoever has the largest, and the first person to get to 5 wins. Go ahead and play.